Okay, hi Julie.
Hi.
Right, so let me know what's going on. Something with your class?
Yeah, like I have this student who is late all the time, and we have a policy for it. Plus, I have like sanctions in the
So if
class.
so if they are late,
So if they
there's
are late, there's a consequence. And I've told them about it. And this kid, he is just, it's fine if like a single student is late a single time, but this student is perpetually late and always by like 15 or 20 minutes. So
yeah,
it's really,
it's
it's
disruptive.
really disruptive. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple of
Mm-hmm.
questions, okay? Because how we deal with this depends on a lot of things. So let me begin by asking you, what would you like the end result to be? And the way I see it, there's two different end results that you might be looking for in a correspondence with a student like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of them might be you're looking for them to stop being late, come to class, right? Come to
Mm-hmm.
class and stop being late. The other consequence might be, or the other outcome that you might be looking for, is to remove them from the class with a lot less fuss and with no like room for kickback or complaining to the dean, something that might come back and bite you in the butt, but you'd really like them removed from the class. So if I was going to give you those two outcomes, which is the one you're really hoping for?
Oh, I just want the student to come to class on time.
Okay, so a couple things. Tell me everything that you like about this student and what happens when they're in class.
Well, he's not disruptive other than coming in late.
Okay.
He comes in, he sits down, he's ready once he's there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually one of the better participants in the class. Like when
So
I
he
ask,
adds to the quality of the
yes,
classroom discussion. Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
when I ask a question, he's one of the first people to raise his hands. He always has something thoughtful and insightful to say. He doesn't just speak for the sake of talking and hearing himself heard. He's actually a really good student. But, if he keeps coming in late like this and I've got to take 50% off his class participation grade, he's not going to pass the class.
Right, right. Okay. Do you have flexibility with this attendance policy, or is this dictated by school?
No, I mean, this is what the school requires.
Because it's a core class.
It's a core class, and also just the way the class is taught, we only meet once a week. So it's really crucial
I see.
that the students are in class the one time a week that we meet.
Okay. And tell me what it is that happens when he is late that affects you negatively. Like, what is it? Try to be honest with yourself, like, not just about what we would say everybody should be on time, but you personally, what happens to you emotionally, intellectually, mentally? What does it feel like when he's late? How does that affect you?
Well, my first reaction is frustrated because I've already started class and I've taken attendance and I'm talking to the students, either doing a short lecture or having a discussion about what the day's class is going to be about. And then the door opens. So that disrupts my train of thought. And you have to wait until he comes in and sits down and gets settled, because the noise that he makes is the other students won't be able to hear what I'm saying. So then so basically I have to stop. And then
Right.
once he's settled, I have to collect myself and start up again. And the way lecturing works is you kind of get on a roll. Like, you
Yeah.
know what you're going to say for the day. And you start talking about it, and the students have their attention on you. And it usually about the 15-20 minute mark is when class is really getting going. It's building momentum. And that's precisely when he comes in and just wrecks it. And so then I have to start over again. And you just sort of feel like now you have to go through all that energy to get people paying attention again and get people back to where we were.
Yeah.
And so when I say it's disruptive, it really is disruptive.
Okay. So I'm thinking about how we could structure a discussion, whether it be in person or email, with this particular student that would serve what you want the end result to be, and make it most likely that you're going to get that. Because, of course, you can only control you. You can't control somebody's response, right?
Right.
So, okay. I see 3 to 4 prongs of this. I think it's 3, but as I go along, it might be more. So any difficult discussion, especially where you want to keep the relationship intact. That's why I asked you at the beginning, are we looking to keep this intact, or are we looking to find a good way to end it? Right?
Yeah, no, I want to keep it intact.
Yeah,
for sure.
So when you want to keep it intact, it makes sense to lead with a gift. What do I mean by that?
Yeah, I was just going to
ask that. Right. What I mean is something that you can say sincerely. This is not about being disingenuous, but this is something kind and true and respectful that you can say sincerely. Sometimes it's as small as I look forward to seeing what outfit you're going to wear every day. Like, they're a terrible student and you're looking for something.
Right.
But when I asked you earlier, you really like how this person contributes to your class. So that's where I would begin. And that would sound something like, no, we're not going to say the student's name. So we're going to call him Bob. Okay. So just in case Bob is watching this. Okay. So Bob, I really appreciate your participation in class. In fact, I count on you. I know you're going to raise your hand, and I know you're going to say something intelligent, and you're going to show that you're prepared. And that is so valuable to me. Okay. Just think about how you felt even just hearing those words, right?
Yeah, if I were a student, I would be like, oh, wow, like I'm making a difference in this class.
Yes. And because you're saying it sincerely, they know it's true, right? They know that they participate. It's not, you're not lying about what it is. So now they've softened, and they are in a much better place to hear whatever comes next, right?
Yeah.
So the second thing I would do is make sure that you include the piece of this that is outside of your control. That's why I asked you about the policy, because sometimes, students have a misguided idea of what you have control over and what you don't.
Right.
Right? So I would start by saying, we have an attendance policy that is dictated by the curriculum folks in the school, or by the dean, or whoever it is that determines it. We have a policy that I need to follow. I'm required to follow. So out of your hands, right? And you have, unfortunately, been not following it, right? So now you've laid out what it is that you're going to talk about that's difficult. You've already opened the door with a gift. You've discussed what's out of your hands. And then here's the fun part. Taking a little bit of responsibility yourself also makes it easier. So rather than we don't accept that and I don't like that and blah, 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 that little part you said about once I'm interrupted, I have so much trouble getting back on track. It's really difficult for me. And when you come in 15 minutes late, it just knocks me off my game. Right? So owning a little piece of that, like this is, part of my issue.
Okay.
And then discussing how it affects everyone else. Right? So that's the fourth part. Then in turn, that affects all of the other students. It also makes me seem that I don't adhere to the policy. And so it makes it easier for other people to be late. And then we're in, no man's land. You're such a great example. Circle back to the gift. You're such a great example when you are participating in class. It would mean so much to me if you would come on time so I wouldn't have to eventually fail you. What a shame that would be. Right?
Right.
Now, that's very different than saying to somebody, listen, you're late and you're going to fail, and I expect you to be here on time.
Which is probably how I would have handled
it.
Right.
And why wouldn't you? Because that seems like the reasonable thing to do. I need to, right? I just think we need to, if we're talking about somebody's behavior, we want to shift and change. We always get very authoritative and we're a little scoldy, right?
Right.
The reality is, if we really want somebody's behavior to change, we want to get them on our team. And like I said, it has to be sincere. You can't make stuff up. right?
Right.
So really do some thinking about what could I sincerely say that would be a gift.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I do like the student, and he's an asset to the class, so I don't want him to get frustrated and leave.
Yeah. But
And then it will be in his court,
Right.
and you can't make him be on time, but you can give him all kinds of reasons to want to be on time.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Right?
that's a good way of looking at it. Give
Yeah.
him a reason to want to be on time.
Right. To want to be on time.
Right.
And so, so I'm going to ask you to try that.
Okay.
And then we're going to get together after you had the conversation, and you're going to tell me how it went.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're
That's
so welcome.
really helpful.
All right. I can't wait to hear.